What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the Organic Podcast. I'm your host, Reagan. Today's episode is going to be short and sweet, as they have been lately, because I'm in a really busy season of life, and I'm just like, oh my god, there's so much going on. I actually moving into my apartment now, like literally after I record this episode, and there's a lot on the dome. There's a lot going on. But I do really want to share with you guys this week about the power of slowing down. And a difference I've really noticed in my life when it comes to how it actually feels to experience what everyone's talking about when it comes to nervous system regulation, being present, slowing down, feeling your emotions, being in your body, actually just allowing yourself to exist as a human being. This is like, it sounds like it should be inconsequential, but I have been yearning for so long to actually understand and know what it feels like to live a slow, peaceful, restful life, at least like even just a little bit more than I'm used to. And it's a really powerful topic, so I really want to share with you guys my honest, authentic, vulnerable experience, as always, just with some thoughts and general tips and stuff. So that's the plan for this episode and this week. If you guys are if I'm not getting to the point where you guys are just like, oh my god, I'm so fucking bored in this episode, I don't really care. I'm not gonna lie, I have limited energy supply, and we are working with what we have, so let's get into it. Welcome to the Organic Podcast. I'm your host, Reagan, mechanical engineer, lifelong athlete, and recovered overachiever, here to empower you to pursue your highest potential and live freely as your happiest, most organic self. Every week, we'll dive into topics ranging from personal growth, mindset hacks, psychology, and a blend of science and spirituality to give you all the tools you need to stop living on autopilot and start creating a life of freedom, meaning, and fulfillment as your most organic self. If you're ready to become the best version of yourself, then let's plant those seeds and grow. Alright, you guys, I first discovered or heard of nervous system regulation literally like 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And when I first heard of it, I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, makes sense. Like, yeah, sure, all of our systems are jacked up and we're addicted to being stressed out because that's our state of comfort, and our brain doesn't care about making us happy, it cares about keeping us safe. So if we are acclimated to a state of comfort, which is being stressed out all the time, then our brain is going to keep us stressed out all the time so that we can stay in our comfort zone, so that we can stay with what's familiar and keep us safe, because our whole entire fucking lives are run by our subconscious mind, which is also best friends with our primal brains, which runs our entire system of survival and is not modernized to the modern world. Because believe it or not, it takes more than a couple generations for the entirety of our brain chemistry to change to match the different physiological conditions of the average human. In that, it does not mean when we send an email, we are getting hunted by a bear. We know that, right? People get stressed out about sending an email, having a conversation at work, or having a lot of things on their to-do list. We treat these things as if they are literally existential threats to our survival when they push us to a point of stress beyond our reasonable limits. And our body treats that as a threat, similar to how we would have reacted to being hunted back in the day. Slay! Don't we just love that? And no one talks about this enough. If there is anything that I would really love to teach on beyond becoming your most authentic expression of self, I feel like nervous system regulation is a topic that, the education behind that, just the resources of knowledge, they are so important. So important. It literally creates your entire reality. That knowledge of understanding how your brain works, and especially how your, what your state is throughout the day, that influences your life. Your whole life is based on these metrics of what your brain thinks is safe. And nervous system regulation is just beyond the education about our brain and the different states of your nervous system. you need to understand how to get to a regulated state in order for you to actually be living as your most organic, authentic self, because otherwise you are just living in fight or flight, always anticipating danger, or freeze, where you're just like numbed out from things and you can't really take action, or even further down the line you get into like dorsal shutdown, I think it is, where you have symptoms similar to depression. And these are all like fight or flight, freeze, etc. I know these are buzzwords. I know nervous system regulation is also a big buzzword, and a lot of people talk about it, and a lot of people probably blow smoke up a bunch of people's asses being like, this is how you regulate your nervous system, and they sell a course for $16 trillion and then don't actually live in integrity and like teach things that are really valuable and actually practice it. You know what I mean? That is absolutely not to dig on any nervous system coaches, because it is really important work. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. I am just trying to say, understanding your nervous system and what is running your life is so important, which goes back to understanding your brain. Go back to episode 3 if you have not listened to it, because I gave a whole explanation of my best understanding of like how your brain actually works and like what is creating the program of your life in the day-to-day, every single second, every single day, where I go further into like the subconscious mind and the primal brain and stuff, etc. But nervous system regulation, I loop this in with the sense of like being able to be present and rest and slow down, because when you are dysregulated, you cannot do any of these things. Your body is not prioritizing like being chill and present and in your body and resting if it feels like you are constantly in danger of a threat or needing to take care of something or in a state of urgency and rushing, which I feel like 99% of this fucking world exists in, which is horrible. It's horrible. And we were never meant to live like this. We were never designed to live with this much stimulation, this many responsibilities, all while not having nearly as much of a community, a support system, and deeper sense of human connection. Like that is not supposed to be the case. That's not our optimal way of living for anyone, both at an individual level and on a cultural level. So I guess here is my part in trying to just share my experience as someone who would really, really love to turn the tides and bring us back to a state of equilibrium and balance. So my personal experience in how I like notice the difference of slowing down today, I actually enjoy just sitting doing nothing sometimes. It can be really boring, but I enjoy activities where it's just me with no stimulation, nothing else, just my thoughts. I really enjoy just being present, just existing, taking a walk by myself without my phone, without anything else in my ears, or just sitting doing an activity with my hands like painting or whatever that I literally can't be distracted by my phone by. These things I actually enjoy now. It brings me a sense of peace. It makes me feel rested. It makes me feel more present. And because of that, it makes me feel like I'm more deeply connected to my sense of actually being alive. Because in the many years I spent being so busy, going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, and having exactly 0 seconds for myself, I didn't really feel like, wow, my life is thriving. Like, I wasn't this, ethereal being who was like, oh my God, my life is so perfect and amazing. I did enjoy everything that I was doing, and I did enjoy my life, obviously, but it definitely was a completely different sense of appreciation for the small things, and appreciation for just being present, existing, alive. This came out especially at the start of my journey getting into all of this stuff, when I would hear people like Monica Yates talk about like being in your body versus being in your head, and things like somatic healing, things like that. I was like, I don't really know anything about that. I don't really know what it means to be in your body. And now I understand this as being in your body, and that feeling is a sense of just being so present where you're not in your head. Which sounds obvious, but you're not thinking about 1,000 things. You're not worrying. You're not even thinking about like anything else but just where you are, what you're experiencing, and you're focusing on just one thing. And you feel relaxed and calm and peaceful. And it's such a nice experience. It is such a nice experience. And I'm still someone who's very much head focused, driven by my thoughts and my mind. I have a very, very, very active mind, and I always have, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I definitely do struggle to be present, be in my body, feel relaxed sometimes. Definitely better now than it used to be. But I remember starting out that I was just like, this concept of being in your body and being present is so foreign. This is literally like another language, and I have literally no clue what you were talking about. But like I said earlier, now that I've experienced it, now that I kind of know what it feels like, I can feel the deeper parts of myself, more like the subconscious parts of myself, and like my body kind of just like needing that sort of rest through that sense of presence. Because a lot of the times that we think we are resting or relaxing, where you might think that you're like regulated and chill, we're usually not doing activities that actually give us a sense of peace or make us feel well rested, such as like scrolling, or I don't know, watching a TV show just for the point of like numbing out. These things definitely have their place, like in moderation, of course. So I'm not trying to shame anyone for scrolling or like watching TV, because I have definitely, sometimes you just need a fucking like vegetative session where you are literally just like watching some stupid pointless TV show, or you scroll for like 20 minutes. Like literally, we're all human. I'm not trying to be this robot of, oh my god, scrolling people and TV is so bad, because that's not real. Like that's not real life either. But there is a point to the fact that a lot of our modern day perceived solutions of like rest and slowing down don't actually serve you or your body when it comes to resting. And this is where the nervous system regulation comes in, and things like just being able to calm down in really small moments throughout the day. It doesn't have to be this like huge thing. It doesn't have to be this big monumental effort or this giant amount of change in your life to make progress towards slowing down more and being less of like a crazily stressed out person, even with the same workload. Because a lot of your stresses also come from how you perceive the things that you are working on and the things you're spending time on. So it's like a good example of this would be your environment. So you could be working on the same thing. Like, for example, if you're working on something for work on your laptop, if you're working at a desk, it's really stressing you out, just same thing, same task, whatever, working at a desk, normal format, versus being on the couch, curled up in a blanket with like a cup of tea and like a fire in the background, and you have your laptop and you're working on something, same thing, like same exact work assignment, but two completely different vibes, two completely different signals that you're sending to your body in terms of like comfort, safety, feeling like you're not so paranoid or everything's so structured and needs to be done or stressed out about. So there is that, where how the environment that you're working in or doing things in and your mentality towards whatever thing you are doing does make a big difference to the stress that you actually experience. And I can apply this to how it was for me in college, because I would get stressed out thinking about, different homework assignments or just things I didn't really feel like doing. And I think a lot of what made my college life especially more stressful was me telling myself that like it was really stressful. And oh my god, I have so many things to do. It's like going to be so bad. It's going to be whatever. And I'm going to have such a long night, or things like that. That stress was just amplified by me telling myself that something was going to be miserable, or I was going to have like a rough night or things like that. And now that I know this, now that I have the awareness of this, I've done a much better job of being able to put things into perspective that allows me to be way less stressed out about situations when they really do not require a lot of stress or a lot of worrying. And I've gotten a lot better at only worrying about what I can actually control. And I'm going to tell you guys, like, there's not some magic pill. There's not some easy solution or easy way out, especially if you're someone who has been deeply rooted in the sense of stress and busyness and go, go, go for your whole life. When you want to calm down or learn to appreciate rest and presence and just being with your thoughts, it will take a lot of time. You are working with a system, aka your brain, that has been programmed for years and years and years to run on a certain system, on a certain server, with certain different responses and commands in the program code. Like, you are working with a backlog of a lot of data in your brain to prove or suggest to you that it knows what's best for you by knowing what's safe, and it wants you to stay with what's comfortable. So naturally, when you try to slow down after being stressed out all the time, or you try to be less productive, your brain is going to have a bit of a freak out, and you are going to experience friction when trying to change these situations, because it's just how it works. That's just how it works. This is why, like, the nervous system regulation and changing your life and changing your mindset, things like that, yeah, it's a great thing for people to talk about and to sell and to mention on socials and things like that. Even me talking about this right now, it's an extremely important topic, but you cannot sell people this fever dream of, like, you're going to be able to completely change, get rid of all your old stress and change all your habits in the span of, I don't know, weeks, months. It takes a long time. And obviously everyone's different. Sometimes it takes longer for some people than others, depending on the situation, depending on the past. And I'm not an expert in this field. I am simply a normal woman who has experienced a lot of stress in my past. And I have done small practices and learned a lot of information that has allowed me to experience way less stress in my present. And a lot of that is attributed to my mindset and my ability to actually understand and realize the importance of slowing down, of resting, and of relaxing. Because even when I'm busy, even when I have long days or a lot going on, you cannot tell me that you do not have time to take 30 seconds when you are transitioning between activities, or you park in your driveway after getting home from work, or before going to the gym, whatever it may be. You have time throughout the day that you can absolutely be utilizing to literally just take like 3 deep breaths. Just take a second to be present with yourself, to just stop what you're doing and just sit or walk for a few minutes or just stand, whatever you're going to do, and just exist, breathe. You don't even have to like pretend that you're not stressed out about things. You don't have to pretend that there's not a lot going on, but even just including this pattern interrupt where you allow yourself time to rest and take deep breaths throughout the day, that is the start of progress. That is what is the pick that starts chipping away at all of these years of accumulated stress addiction, because you start to show yourself and tell your brain, hey, guess what? We don't actually have to be on all the time, and we don't actually have to be rushing, and in the state of urgency, it is safe to rest, and it is safe to slow down. And you can still be productive, you can still get your things done. It's taking, let's say, 4 different breaks throughout the day for 30 seconds each. You are telling me you don't have 2 minutes to slow down, to breathe, to rest? You don't go to the bathroom where you can take a few deep breaths when you go? Like, this is the basic fundamental kind of practices that I did starting out and that I still do throughout the day. Obviously, I'm not perfect, and I do it when I remember to, but I'm lucky even now that I feel like I don't have nearly as many situations where I'm finding myself being so swept up in things, and I think that's just a product of my awareness and being able to actually, practice the resting and practice the breathing and being present, or just taking walks alone. And over time, all of this progress accumulates over the span of the last 2 years to where I am now, which is way more chill, way less stressed out. And I have way more awareness that actually allows me to react to things a lot better and to put myself in situations where I know that I am taking care of myself by allowing myself space to just rest. But I will be so honest with you guys, the resting, the being present, which is kind of the equivalent of like being in your body, I would say, and not thinking about anything, it's really hard for me. Like, it is really, really hard for me sometimes. And especially lately, I've had so much going on, and I have just been so busy with apartment stuff and things that are really exciting that I'm really happy to welcome as things that are feeling overwhelming, because it's absolutely a gift and a blessing. But even still, I have had difficulty resting, difficulty focusing on one thing, difficulty like slowing down between transition periods and not just being in this like productivity mode all day. And now that I've experienced the difference between how it feels when I like end work and I will take a few minutes to myself to just rest and kind of switch gears to a chill vibe and nighttime mode and just like me time, whatever. I don't know why I just said whatever there. This is what I'm saying. I feel like my words are not coming out great sometimes, but then again, I listened to last week's episode where I said the same thing, where I'm like, I don't think my words are coming out well. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, you're literally fine. But anyways, I have been struggling to just rest and exist. And this has felt like a point of contention or conflict for me, because I feel like I really notice it now when, like, I notice the difference in my brain and how I feel in my presence when I'm just constantly, like, go between tasks and activities and work and apartment research and, like, all this stuff, versus when I actually give myself space to rest in between. Or I actually prioritize a period of not being productive so that I can literally just sit and rest on my bed, like with my feet and my legs up the wall for lymphatic drainage, and stare at the ceiling for 10-20 minutes. That is what is important. Like, that is what I really need to prioritize, that I could tell the part of me, like my body is just yearning for that kind of rest. And that's something that I don't think I ever experienced before now, like around this time in my life, because I just didn't even know how to give myself proper rest. Like, and once you learn about more of this, once you experience more of the presence and the rest and the regulating whatever, you can tell the difference between resting through scrolling, you know, quote unquote resting through just scrolling or numbing out, and the difference between resting by actually resting and just existing and being present, just allowing yourself to do nothing for a little bit. I can tell you it's a lot more restful to actually do nothing, because your brain, you think that you want like the quick dopamine of scrolling, you think that you want the numbing and like kind of just turning off of your brain, but honestly, you don't really feel rested after. You don't really feel good. And what actually amplifies your ability to feel well rested by these activities that are supposed to be, you know, restful, is fully embracing them and just giving your full conscious awareness and attention, almost with like this tenderness, this nurturing energy towards yourself, to like even just be really present, embracing like a really nice hot shower or a bath or a really nice like nature walk with yourself, or just walk down the street or through your neighborhood. These things become almost like sacred ritual type of like energy when you put conscious care, attention, and presence into them. But when you live in this version of life that I lived in for so long, where it's like you never have your attention fully in on one thing, you're always multitasking, you're always going between a bunch of million things that you have to do, you're not really getting as much out of life. You're not squeezing all the juice out of life. You're kind of just like dipping your hand in a bunch of different like, I don't know, bowls of water at the same time, and like not really fully immersing yourself in any of them. And that just leaves you feeling scattered, even more tired, restless, but exhausted. Ew, like, you do not want to be living like that. I really don't wish that for anyone. But that's how I lived for so long. So there is immense power to just committing your full attention and energy to one thing at a time. One thing at a time, like Morgan Wallen's album. Seriously though, so much power in just being present and existing. And if you find it hard to be present and focus on one thing, start slow, start small, but be consistent. And I promise you, you will see progress over time. And if you're curious to learn more about nervous system regulation, presence, slowing down, seriously, like literally, there are probably a bajillion podcasts about nervous system regulation. Well, honestly, I hope that there's a lot, but there might not be that many. Anyways, nervous system regulation, somatic therapy, anything in that realm, has really been where I've sourced a lot of my information that has actually changed the way that I show up in my life. And most notable people who talk about this, probably Monica Yates, biggest one for me, Becca Nichols, Queen. I fucking love Becca. I love both of them. Both of them have been actual mentors that I have been in groups with and things like that. So highly recommend anything that they produce, make, whatever, talk about. And they're just literally learn about it. I dare you to go into your Instagram algorithm and add this as like your feed. Did you know that you can change your Instagram algorithm? I think if you go to the Reels tab right now, I don't have my phone near me. If you go to the Reels tab, top right corner, there's like an auto AI, whatever the fuck thing that shows you your algorithm topics. And you can add topics. Literally do like nervous system regulation and somatic therapy, and you will see, works wonders. These also aren't like bullshit fake topics, by the way. They literally, like, this kind of art and science has been around for like the thousands of years that humans have existed, and we kind of just like push it to the side. And I don't think it's a coincidence, because the less people know about this, the less you're really gonna feel like you are sovereign in your energy and able to handle a lot in your life, and you feel like aligned and fully empowered. So not really a coincidence there. But anyways, yes, research these tools, look them up, literally find Instagram reels about it, watch YouTube videos, I don't care, but fucking learn more about it, because if I had more concise, deep research to give you guys, I would. But I'm not a practitioner, an expert. This is not my area of expertise, but it's just something that I've really noticed and learned from. And I want to give all of you busy queens a permission slip to stop wearing your busy schedule as a badge of honor. Stop thinking that you literally cannot slow down without feeling like you're worthless, because that's not true. And start to give yourself permission. Just start with 30 seconds, 3 or 4 times a day, taking fucking deep breaths. Just start there, my queens, and go from there. But that's a great starting point. And kings, sorry, don't want to exclude any men who listen to this. So anyways, I'm gonna leave this here. I hope you guys got something out of it. Go be your most organic selves, and I will see you in the next one. Oh my god, side note, I literally am moving into my apartment like now. I'm so excited, guys. I think I'm gonna do a YouTube vlog on moving in. I don't really know. I'll definitely do some vlog of an intro to my apartment, so stay tuned on that. Subscribe to me on YouTube if you are not yet, because I'm gonna be way more active. So if you're interested in more down to earth videos like that, they will be there. But yes, literally moving into my apartment. I still have a lot to do, but good news, guys, we got a bed frame. So shout out, we have more than a mattress now. I also got a banger couch for like $400 at this really nice store that, like, you know, resells furniture. So very happy with that. And everything else I'm figuring out. Do I order from Amazon? Do I settle for IKEA? Where do I get rugs? Like, I have answers. I know things, but yeesh, it is a lot. I'm putting a lot of my thought and time and energy into this while also trying to take care of myself. So it's just a lot. Sorry if you just heard my mom sneeze. Bless you, Mom. Anyways, okay. I'll actually let you guys go now, but if you want to see more apartment updates, follow me on Instagram at Organic Reagan, spelled normally organic, and my name Reagan. So go be your most organic selves, and I will see you in the next one.